Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Darylyn and tonight I just have a quick little fun growth updates from my greenhouse for you. First things first, I just wanted to say thank you so much to everybody who watched that Fancy Monstera video I put out recently, who left all the nicest, sweetest comments about the video and saying they're excited for the next one in the series. It is a series. I will be doing another one. So I just wanted to say thank you because I think it went over really well and I was really happy with the way that it turned out. And speaking of that video, I'm so sorry it's taken me so long to get to this. I just haven't had time to film anything, but I do owe you guys a giveaway winner announcement. And so congratulations to the winner of the giveaway, Jennifer Deepa. Go ahead and shoot me a DM on Instagram and I will tell you how you can claim your prize. All right, so enough of that out of the way. Let's get into the plants. I have a bunch of really cool stuff that I keep in this little tabletop greenhouse. This has like kind of become a little bit of like a thing on the channel. A number of people have told me that they also have gone out and acquired a greenhouse like this. What? It's caught on something. Yeah, that's the one thing about the greenhouse that like I could do without, is it is annoying to take it on and off, but I digress. So there's a lot of cool stuff in here and it's all been growing really, really well, especially since the growing season started. And I usually keep that window that's behind those curtains open during the day. So there's a lot of cool stuff in here. And I just wanted to kind of give you a little couple growth updates. So I guess let's get started with a good one. So this, I've shown in a few videos. This is my Philodendron Verrucosum Iricolor. And it has been doing so well in the greenhouse. Like look at all those aerials. And it's just in there, it's just in moss. I'm not doing anything like crazy with it. I normally do give it like a pretty good feed, but other than that, it's doing amazing. It looks so good. And I really, really like this plant. It's grown really, really well for me. They're really not that expensive. So if you're able to find one and you want to add something really cool to your collection, I definitely recommend this one because it is so beautiful. It honestly kind of gives me like Vericosum X Philodendron Luxurians vibes, which I personally really like. I really like the Philodendron Luxurians. It is just like a little bit more of a challenging plant. So if you want something that's a little easier, maybe go for this. But like full disclosure, I have had it just in the greenhouse. So it is possible that if I took it out, it would not appreciate that. But that is doing super well. And I really like it. So next, I guess this works out well. So this is Philodendron Luxurians, and it is doing so well in the greenhouse. I got this from an Aquagenera pop-up back in December, and it has done so well. Like, let me tell you, I have imported this plant so many times. Like, I think, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 times. And of all the times that I've tried to import this plant, this is the one that's by far done the best. This is the only one that has fully like acclimated and really like made it. Yeah, when they say that this is a difficult plant to acclimate after import, like they're not kidding. It's really hard. In general, the plant has like really sensitive roots and it does not like to dry out. So you almost always get them from import just like with no roots, and it's rough. It's rough to acclimate them, but it's doing really well. I've got it in pon. And as you can see, I hope you can see, there's some roots on the other side rooting into the pon. I'm just really excited. I'm excited for what this plant's gonna do next. There's lots of room still in the pot for it to continue to crawl, so I'm hopeful that I'll get a few more leaves this growing season. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave this plant in the greenhouse, honestly, because I had another one. I still have it. It's okay. It's on the mend. It's on the up and up. But I had another one that I had out on my dresser in open air over last summer, and it did really, really well over the summer. It grew a lot, but it did not do well over the winter time. Like when the winter came, poor plant crashed. So I think the key with these is that like A, don't let them dry out, and B, they need a consistent environment, and like I wouldn't go less than like 60% humidity with them. This is just like the wonky leaf that was in the caterpillar when I got it. I should just cut it off off, honestly, but this one looks really good. I think that's really, though, the trick with these is that they just want like a consistent environment. And so keeping them in open air is tricky because eventually the seasons are going to change and the conditions inside your house are not going to stay the same year round for 99% of us. So it's tough to catch when those changes are going to happen and like adjust your watering habits and whatnot preemptively without, you know, stressing the plant in another way. So that's why I think these really are difficult. Like they're not like irrationally difficult. They're not super finicky. Like if you keep them in an environment that they're happy with, that's consistent, they're fine, they do great. But like, yeah, keeping them in open air in a house in a place like California is rough because the conditions inside your house do fluctuate and it can be a little bit tough to stay on top of making sure that you're on top of your watering and, you know, that the plant is happy. So Philodendron Luxurians, like this plant is pretty big. Like I'm pretty happy with it. That is my beautiful Philodendron Luxurians hanging out in the tabletop greenhouse. And yeah, I'm super happy with it. This is cool. This is cool because I think I only like hauled this plant for the first time. I think I posted the video a week ago. I got the plant like 2 months ago, I think, but I posted the video only like a week ago. So I think you guys all just saw this plant and like you can see immediately like how much it's grown so much since I posted that last video, like in the plant haul where it's, you know, I first introduced it to the channel. Definitely go back and watch because like it's grown a lot. But look, and it's got another leaf down here. It's got another leaf down here, and then it's already growing another leaf up here, and it's just doing so well. Oh, this is my black band Maranta, by the way. I think I forgot to say what plant it is, but yeah, it's getting huge. These are notorious for being humidity finicky, and it loves the little tabletop greenhouse, so my guess is that it's fine to have like a low airflow situation for it. And it's done really well. This is honestly like one of my favorite plants, like top 3 favorite plants. And it's even more special because I got it in a trade from a viewer. So yeah, it's doing really well in there. So if you're thinking about getting this plant, I know Steve's Leaves has them for like, I think $250, which I know is a lot, but if you're thinking about it and you're just not sure how the plant will do, I think you'll be fine as long as you keep it in a greenhouse or something where the conditions are really consistent and the humidity stays high. I mean, like this one just looks absolutely perfect, so. Yeah, you can't really complain. Can't complain about that. It's in pond, it's in self-watering pond, and it really likes it. So, I mean, that's like the lesson that I learned with my Maranta Silver Band too, is that like just don't let them dry out. Like that's like half the battle. Okay, so this is kind of a mess, but I am like in the process of fixing this. This is my Maranta Silver Band. And if you saw last year, like if you're an OG channel watcher, first and foremost, thank you. Second of all, if you saw when I hauled this last year, it looked a lot better, but I had to start it over because it dried out and the plant was just suffering. And so the growth is a lot smaller. I left it in water way too long. It wasn't getting enough light in the prop box. So now it's back out and I'm hoping that it will start giving me nice color again on the leaves and look more like a silver band. So there's some new growth all over the place. So I don't think it'll be too long. And yeah, it's the same care essentially as the black band Maranta. And I actually got this silver band from Steve's Leaves. I didn't get the black band from Steve's Leaves, but I would say it's the same exact care as the black band. Just I would put it in pond. If you get it from Steve's Leaves, they're gonna come in soil, but I just, you know, you can take cuttings and water root them and then put them in pond. They love self-watering and just don't let it dry out. And, you know, if you have a cabinet or something like that where you can put it so that the conditions stay really stable, your plant will do well. I really like Maranta. I'm really getting like into them. I've always really liked prayer plants of like Calathea and whatnot. So it's kind of fun to get like some more Maranta. And speaking of Calathea, like I know this was just supposed to be the greenhouse tent, but she's right here. So I might as well show you. Look at this friggin' huge Calathea Roseopicta medallion, whatever you want to call it. So big. This thing just like won't stop growing. It's huge, like huge. And there's more new leaves coming in. See the little like roll right there? And then there's more on this side too. So yeah, man, like Calathea gets such a bad reputation for being like difficult, but like once you figure it out, like they pop off, man. Like, this girl's here to turn up. She's like, just leave me where you put me and water me once a week, and don't give me that tap water BS. Like, you know, treat me right. But it's huge. All right, so this is another thing that's in there. This is an Anthurium Cirinoi velvet, and I do have another one that's now in my bedroom, but I think I like this one better. I think it's a little bit prettier, and it's doing really, really well in the tabletop greenhouse. The one that's out in open air, it's fine. Like, it hasn't really declined or anything, but it hasn't grown yet since I took it out. And it's been a while. I definitely think that the Anthurium Cirinoi velvet is gonna do better in some sort of humidity vessel, like if you can give it one. And if you are gonna try and keep it in like open air and like, you know, 50-60% humidity, it's definitely gonna need to be like already a very established plant before you try and do that. Like, if I just put like a new import out in the open air, it would definitely have died. And I actually had an issue with another one last year. It didn't survive the winter. So I know these are like kind of popular and people want them, and I mean, they're beautiful, but yeah, they love humidity, they like warm temperatures, and they like a lot of light. So if you can't really provide that year round, like, this might not be the best species. I would say if you give them the conditions they like, they're easier than Queen Anthurium. Like, they grow better. Like, all my queens are really, like, they just don't grow very fast. These grow better. I would be very careful about trying to acclimate them to like ambient humidity is what I'm saying. Okay, so this is a foliage orchid that, like, I don't know that I've updated anybody on in a while, but it's clearly alive and it's doing well, but I'm not really like counting on it blooming for me anytime soon, but eventually, hopefully it will. This is a Paphiopedalum Callosum pygmy type, and for those of you who don't know, Paphiopedalum orchids are the ones that have like the little bucket on the front of the bloom, where I think like it's supposed to attract pollinators. I'm not sure if like nectar pools in there or if water pools in there. If you're an orchid person, let me know below in the comments. It was really beautiful when I got it. It had like a really incredible bloom on it. So I would love for it to bloom again. I used to have a lot of orchids like back when I was first getting into plants, like back in my like early 20s. So I'm not that worried that it's never gonna bloom for me again. There's something growing in there that looks like it could maybe be a stalk, or it could just be a leaf. I think it's a leaf. Like right there. I think it's a leaf, but yeah, eventually at some point, I'm sure that it'll rebloom. So at that point, I will be sure to update you on it. But yeah, it's cool. It's the only orchid I have right now. I had another one, had really pretty foliage, but I put it in a prop box and it rotted. And so yeah, very cool. All right, so another thing that has been in the little tabletop greenhouse is this Philodendron Fibrosum. This grows so slow. I did cut it, and I am pretty happy with like the size of this first leaf since I cut it, but this grows extremely slowly. It's very cool though with like the super fuzzy petioles, but yeah, this plant was like the it plant for a hot minute, like a year and a half ago or so, a year ago, and now the like it plant with the fuzzy petiole, it's more people are going for the Philodendron serpens, which good for you, like brave souls. Those are not easy plants to acclimate, and they're not easy plants to grow. I can see why people like them because they're very pretty, but this one's doing well. It's got a lot of like aerial roots coming out. All these plants in the little greenhouse, like they don't get any airflow really, because I'm lazy and I don't open it that often, and it's really full. It's annoying to open. So I think that airflow is definitely important for Anthurium. Apparently not the Cirinoi velvet, but yeah, they are all doing a lot better in there with like very little airflow than I figured they would. So, I mean, sometimes like being lazy, you kind of inadvertently fuck around and find out. And like, I feel like for me at least, the like laziness with my plants has only ever really yielded like good information that ended up like making my life easier. So I don't know, like obviously take care of your plants and whatnot, but sometimes like being lazy, like you find out that you actually don't have to like stress as much or work as hard. So I do recommend that on occasion. All right, so this big boy is a Philodendron Vericosum fantasy. and it's done really well in there. I cut it, and so here on the other side, you can see another growth points coming through. This leaf was a shipping leaf, and it's really big. And then this is a new leaf, and then this is like the newest leaf, and it's done really well. It's really pretty. It's nice. I have like a number of Vericosum now, and I'm kind of thinking of the ones I have. This one's like the least exciting to me, so I think I might sell this one, but it's still cool and it's doing really well in the greenhouse. So if you really want to try Verrucosum, but you're afraid to for whatever reason, because I mean, I think Verrucosum did kind of get like majorly canceled. Like they were really popular for a couple of months in like 2020, and then people were like, oh my God, these are impossible. They get spider mites. And what was the other thing? It's like they need too much humidity, they're difficult to grow, they get spider mites. I think there was like a mosaic virus scare with Vericosum or something like that. I actually really like them. They're way easier to grow than like Melanochrysum. So I think we need to give Vericosum another chance. But yeah, Vericosum Fantasy, it loves the little greenhouse and it's growing in there really well. All right, so this is the last thing in the greenhouse that's really of any interest, and that's my Florida Beauty, which I actually cut. I took some cuttings from it a couple months ago, and I will show you the cuttings. But essentially what happened was a lot of the leaves are giving me variegation on only one half of the leaf, and I kind of wanted to see if I could get more balanced color. So I cut it right below like the prettiest leaf, and this is what I got. And it's the biggest leaf on this plant so far, which is great. I was not expecting that at all. And then the color is really beautiful and like really balanced. So yeah, I'm really glad I made that decision because this leaf is way prettier than what the top cutting from the plant was pushing out. But like, look how little variegation there was on some of these other leaves. Like that one has like basically none. That one has like just a little splattering. That one's got more, but it's mostly on one side. This one's got just like a little. There was one leaf on here when I first got it that's since died off that had a lot of color at the very bottom. It was really beautiful, but that's what we're working with now. Let me grab the some of the cuttings and I'll show you. I should probably at some point just like show you guys like what's in my prop boxes, because prop boxes like literally will change your life. If you don't have them, like you should get them. So this was the top cutting off that Florida Beauty. And so this was the leaf that was there when I cut it. And it's a really pretty leaf, don't get me wrong. But I didn't like that all the color was just coming in on one side of the leaf. So I cut it, and yeah, lo and behold, the next leaf was completely green. There's nothing on it. And I was kind of frustrated, and I was a little bit concerned that this plant was gonna revert, but the next leaf, it's another one that's like half and half. So there's definitely color, and like, oh man, look at these aerial roots from that prop box. That's crazy. But there's definitely color still in the plant. It didn't revert. It's just, if you look, I don't know if it's gonna come across very well onto the camera, but you can see the striping in the stem. There's a lot more striping on the stem on one side than on the other. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to, oh, there. See the striping in the stem? Yeah, there's basically none on the other side of the plant. So this is probably just gonna be one of those plants that does the every other thing. The other ones though, they did a little bit better. So this was the second leaf from the top, and this leaf is so pretty, but again, it's got variegation solely on one side of the leaf. And then the next leaf it put out from the bud was this, which that's beautiful. That has such beautiful color. It's so well balanced, and it has the like nice sectoral piece at the top. And it actually just put out another leaf, and it's like brand new, so I don't know how well the variegation is gonna show up on camera. Like I can see where it's gonna come in with like my naked eye, but it's definitely got variegation on it, but it of course is gonna be really difficult to see. Oh no, that is gonna be a really beautiful leaf, so I'm excited. So I would say that like cutting the plant and letting this node activate was definitely a win. And then last but not least, so this plant, this was my favorite leaf on the plant, which, I mean, you can see why. It's absolutely stunning. It's like basically perfectly marbled, like perfectly balanced. And this leaf had a bit of a slow start because it didn't root into the air layering. And so when I cut it, it didn't have any roots, but it definitely rooted. It took a little bit longer than the other two to start pushing growth, but the leaf it's given me, that's got so much color on it. That's gonna be so beautiful. So I'm really, really excited to see these plants grow. I think I'm definitely gonna keep this one because I think it's got the most interesting color on it. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with these Florida Beauties because like I probably should sell most of them, 2 of them, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard like when you experiment with something and then you get attached to it and you get excited and then it's like, oh, I don't wanna give it up. So I don't know. But I would like to have at least a couple of vines in one pot together. Like my mother plant, my bigger plant, like isn't that remarkable. So I kind of almost want to just like cut that pretty leaf off of the top of it and then see if I can get more variegation. Then I don't know, maybe like sell the like low variegation cuttings for really cheap so that people who want to try their luck with Florida Beauties can try it out. I don't know yet, but all I know is that this is awesome. I'm like really pleased with this. So yeah, so that's kind of just my little quick update. Congratulations to the giveaway winner. Sorry I haven't been like posting videos. I've been lazy first and foremost, and second of all, I got addicted to this YouTube channel about geography. So I've been going on basically like an uninterrupted binge of this like channel about geography because you know how it is. Like you get your hyperfixation and you're just like, I have to know like every single tiny like crevice about this thing. But yeah, there's some interesting stuff on there about plants too. So there might be a couple little tidbits of inspiration for something interesting in the future for me, for this channel too. So thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for chilling with me. Congratulations to our giveaway winner, Jennifer Deepa. Reach out to me and we'll get you your plant. And that's gonna be it. There is going to be another Fancy Plants installment coming up. The goal is to get it out next week, but I don't know. I'm not particularly reliable about getting things done lately, you guys. So maybe the week after that, who knows? But anyway, I hope you guys have a great weekend and I will see you in my next one. Bye.